We're back on the road again today in a car on four wheels once again. That is because we are picking up my friend again to go get some dinner. What the hell was that? So, we're hopping on the freeway, heading over to Riverside. Probably gonna hit the usual haunt. I will probably get something else today, though. Continue my kind of, exploration, my tour of the full menu. Or I could get sushi. It has been a few visits since I've gotten sushi. Kind of starting to miss it. I got ramen the very last time. That was pretty good, honestly, which is good to know because unfortunately, found out just last week that the ramen place that we used to go to, that my friend still goes to pretty often, I think she still goes like once a week, because the way she'll do it is she'll get one of their orders of ramen and like eat half of it there, take the rest home to have the other half for leftovers like the next day. So that's pretty good for her, portioning it, out well, and getting your money's worth. Better to turn one meal into two meals for the same price. But she let me know a few days ago that place just shut down out of nowhere. It is now just closed forever, I guess, which really sucks because it was a good place. We really liked it. It was one of the really cute places. They had a bunch of like art all over the walls, a bunch of like Naruto stuff and anime things. Pretty good. Really sucks. We'll see if they replace it with anything or what happens there. So I guess I'm gonna have to get my ramen fix anywhere else, and so will she. I hope she finds somewhere that's pretty good or comparable, but according to her, it was like the best ramen locally available to her because she doesn't have a car. So she has to stay pretty local to the campus. She doesn't get to like adventure too far. She doesn't get straight too far from campus. But yeah, we're heading over now. Probably gonna deal with a decent bit of traffic. I've got some music playing, some nice copyright-free music that should not get my video demonetized or anything, because I should totally be worrying about the monetization, right? But I want to be able to play whatever I want and just let the video exist fully. That way, in the future, with whatever happens, didn't want to be playing too much regular music. I'm also very paranoid because I used to stream on Twitch a lot, and that's how I got into this like copyright music, this playlist, this is from Night Mode, which is really cool. It's all copyright free, awesome music, because usually the thing, and we've evolved definitely now a lot more, but early on the only kind of like copyright free music you would get is just instrumentals, techno, like house music, just stuff where it's like super maybe like upbeat or just like emotional feeling with no words, not really a lot of like singing or talking. Just kind of sound like instrumentals and stuff you'd play. But then they started making this stuff, and it was really cool. I liked it. I used to do it for a lot of my streams because with streaming, when I was on Twitch, they would just mute chunks of your VOD or like the entire freaking thing anytime like copyrighted music was playing loud enough, or even at all. Sometimes they got pretty annoying. So you had to really be careful. That's why I got into playing a lot of this, because I knew that playing 100% of this, I would never get a copyright strike. I'd never get part of my VOD muted, because it would suck having like all this stuff that now people can't go back and watch and enjoy because it's now just dead silence while the video plays for however long the music playing, or sometimes even longer, because I'll like sometimes cut the music before the music even started, or cut the sound and then cut the sound back in after, so you end up with a lot of extra, just kind of like dead air, which really sucked. So that's why for me, like I just got into the habit of using that most of the time, and just sticking with it. But like they make some pretty good music. Like they've got rap, which I thought was cool. Like the first time they dropped like a few like rap songs, I was like, whoa, this is cool. I'm digging this. Oh, there's a lot of stuff, a lot of variety. Some like poppy stuff, some like house music stuff, you know. But a lot of it, or most of it even, we just have lyrics and actual artists and stuff who were like contributing to it and not just being like nothing but, you know, beep bop boop beeps the entire time. So yeah. Yay, there's even more traffic. Ooh, what do we got there? Sick, dude. Got a little hot rod. Oh no. Traffic slowing down again. I think I'm gonna do, yeah, usually traffic's not backed up this far back. So I'm gonna take a little detour today. Show y'all the street route that I sometimes take when traffic is looking like that. Usually only gets a little backed up the closer I get to my exit for the freeway. So it's usually not this bad. So instead of what we'll do is we'll get off here. Get off on Market Street. Drive by the golf course. And one of the parks. And you'll see we are now fully in Riverside. Ooh, buddy. Look at you. I think this basically brings us closer to like the heart of Riverside, in which we kind of like pass by it and then sort of get back, you know, like directionally where we should be going. Hey, yo. Here is where we normally would have gotten off the freeway. So now we're back on the regular route. But we are getting pretty close to our destination, so I'm gonna cut it pretty soon. I will be checking back in later at some point to kind of keep going. So I'll see you guys later. Peace. That looks really good. Mm-hmm. I'm excited.
Well, yeah, let's settle this.
Are you gonna Google it?
Yeah.
I feel like Yellowtail's a tuna. I could very well be wrong. Delicious looking ramen.
This shit looks fire.
It do. Half-eaten yakisoba. It's delicious.
Yeah. Okay, time to actually try the noodles. Because I've been killing all the veggies.
Dinner was delicious. We stopped and got some crabs, so we got them to go, so I didn't feel like recording any of that, and then we got back to our place, fucked them up quickly, and then watched some more anime and stuff, hanging out. So now we're gonna head home. Let's do that. The food we got, she was also feeling pretty adventurous today, which is good as we're exploring options more and more, especially now, because she will be unable to get her ramen fix from the usual haunt that is now closed down without any explanation. We even drove by there when we went to go get dessert, and it was literally just lights off, no sign in the window saying anything, any explanation. Just they're just suddenly closed, which we find very odd because it was like, in all honesty, one of the busiest places in that little area, which is interesting. It was always popping. It always had good dinner rushes and stuff because damn good, great ramen. It was like the only generalized, the only ramen house in the area. Anywhere else is like, hey, we specialize in this one thing, but we also make ramen, I guess. So there's that. You got some Korean barbecue place that's like, hey, you can also get ramen here. Or, we go to the sushi place we go to is like, hey, yeah, I guess you can get ramen here too. And other places like that. But one thing I will say, the sushi place we go to, they seem to have revamped their ramen menu, probably maybe in response to the other ramen place closing. They kind of revamped their ramen menu where now they have a printout. Before it used to just be 4 kinds. They have the tonkatsu, the shoyu, miso ramen, and a veggie ramen. So those 4 ramens, and that's it. You can maybe ask for extra of something, but it was just tiny little corner of the menu in their noodle section, just this big. We get there today, and now one of the laminated many printouts they give us on top of the big book menu. It was showing their ramen. They still have the same 4 ramens, but now they have they tell you what's in every single one. They have pictures of it. There's an add-ons section of that menu where they tell you all the extra different meats or sides you can get, and even add hey, if you want to get a ramen and add half of a sushi roll, just get a little extra snacking while you're eating this. It's also on there. So yeah, it's pretty neat now. So she tried that, and then I had some yakisoba, which is pretty good. The waitress did recommend trying with the udon noodles instead, so maybe next time I'll order a yaki udon, or go back to the seared salmon kind of bowl thing I did the very first time I steered away from getting just a normal sushi roll. So I'll see. Hope we're having fun. It's interesting. I was telling my friend, about how I've been trying to record more and more and be less afraid of recording inside. And I was showing her the camera before we got there, and then it was so sweet. Right when she got a little sushi roll on the side with her ramen. Her sushi roll came out first, and then my yakisoba came out next. Then her ramen, then I think our takoyaki at the end. But right when we were sitting there with the yakisoba and the sushi roll in front of us, and she sees me about to take my chopsticks to the plate and start digging around with it, and she stops me and she's like, hey, aren't you gonna and she does the little pantomime of moving the camera around aimed at the food, and I was like, yeah, I totally could, because I didn't want to feel I was intruding on her enjoyment of the food or her involvement here. But no, she was like, hey, take it out, record something. I was like, oh, hell yeah. Because that's one of the other things is when doing it with her, I was just again afraid of just being that person that's pulling their phone or their camera out just to record something, but she's like, fucking do it, man, you were talking about it. And so that was nice of her. So I got a few shots and angles of some of the stuff we got that I showed off, and so yeah, it was nice of her. I really like that, so I'm probably looking forward to doing that. I was going to do the same thing when we got to the dessert place where we got the crepes, but we've stopped eating them there and just taken them back to her place, so just kind of get to hanging out and watching like anime or whatever shows we're watching a little more quickly. So it wouldn't be as cool to like see us pick them up in like the little plastic bags. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I just didn't feel like doing it today. And I could do the same thing because we also get like boba to go as well, which again would be the same thing. Like, hey, maybe you kind of see it, you know, maybe when we're ordering. I'll see, but baby steps, you know, baby steps. We started with recording a little bit while we're in the restaurant after the food came. Not quite ready to be that guy that's, you know, kind of recording the entire time while we're ordering and enjoying, but you know, I feel like I could definitely start to sneak in some nice action shots of the food after it's arrived and before we get to dig in. So yeah. So how are y'all doing going into near the end of February now? Time is flying. It feels like 2024 took forever to end, and now I blinked and we're almost 2 months done with 2025. It's crazy. Time is flying. But yeah, if there's any place you guys know of that's around somewhere in the Southern California, kind of like LA area or LA adjacent, pretty much, kind of San Bernardino. That's where I centrally am. So going around to visit anywhere around there will never be too much of a hassle. Damn, traffic on the way this way is looking fucking rough. It'll never be too much of a hassle because it's, you know, probably within an hour of wherever I am. You know, like coming over here to Riverside to these places with my friends, it's about 20-30 minute drive. Anything around where I work is the same thing, but in the opposite direction. So that's still about a 20-ish minute drive or ride, most typically. I still need to look into getting some kind of attachment or mount so I can like maybe stick this onto the windshield or like hang it somewhere. That way I don't have to hold it. But like one thing I'm finding is that if I'm holding this, it's easier for me to like, you know, do the 180 flips between me and what's in front of me. Whereas if I mount that to something, in order to flip it, I'm gonna have to like remove it from the mount, turn it around and look at me, which is gonna look a little more finicky, you know, and like I'm messing with it. Whereas this, it's like a quick 180 turn where I'm just like doing stuff and then I'm like, yo, and then suddenly I'm on camera. But we'll see. I also don't want anything that's permanent. Something that maybe it's like a suction cup mount or something. That way I can just like stick it on the windshield and then remove it as needed. I don't want something that's like forcing it to always be there. Because I'm not the only one that drives these cars. Are you kidding me? So I don't want anything to be like a hindrance to anyone else. I want to be able to make my presence known, or my presence be as minimal as possible. It's definitely a much faster trip home, but that's probably because it's like almost 11 o'clock at night. So freeways are definitely emptier in the direction of my house, as opposed to trying to go towards Riverside at like 3 in the afternoon. Not ideal. It's a little more backed up. It took me about, I think, 30 something minutes to get there. We're coming up on like 15 minutes right now. So it's, you know, interesting. But I feel like that's just the way it is anytime you go somewhere. Like the trip to somewhere just almost always feels like it's way longer than the trip back. Even sometimes when the conditions are the exact same. Like even if traffic is moving steadily in both directions, it still feels like going somewhere takes longer than returning. Which might be some crazy psychological thing that I'm unaware of. Because it's one of those things where you just feel like you slowly start to find out that we just all lived the same experience. You know, we all had the same childhood. All the kind of things you thought you experienced solely, or felt weird for feeling like you were the only one that experienced something. You find out on the internet, people are like, "Oh yeah, I did this too," and you're like, "Oh my god, I'm not as weird as I thought. I'm still weird, but I'm not the only weird one. I'm understood." All right, it's about that time. I'm getting fairly close to home, so we're gonna have to end it here. Thanks everyone for watching. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and we'll catch you next time when I'm doing something or other else. I'm not sure, but yeah. Bye. Peace.